Happy Saturday to everybody. I hope you're having a great Saturday and a great weekend so far. My name is Don Terrell, and I want to welcome you to, another amazing episode of The Color of Motion. Well, I like to say, stories come in all shades. And I highlight people of color and diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. This space that you by now know that I'm crazy about. Again, I want to welcome you to the show. Hey, you know the drill. Jump in, say hey, where you're tuning in from, so we can see all that good stuff for sure. Make sure that you hop on over to the Facebook group community, facebook.com/group/the color of motion. Get involved, become a member. The family is growing. We share a lot of industry news, have a lot of great engaging conversations. It's just all around fun. For sure. So make sure that, again, you hop on over to the Facebook group community and become a part of the Color of Motion family for sure. Also, make sure that you connect with me on all my social channels. You can find me here on all my social channels. Follow, connect with me. I definitely want to hear from you. Let me know, what you think of the show. Any guests that you may want me to try and get on. But just definitely want to hear from you, the viewers, as well. Hey, also, if you're one to want to support the channel, definitely helps me to continue to create great content, bring all these great guests over on the channel. Hey, I love a great cup of coffee. So, buymeacoffee.com/Don Terrell. You can donate to the channel. Anything that you see so fit to do. Like I said, every little bit helps. And it helps me to continue to make this great content and bring it to you, the viewers. Like I said, we stream live to LinkedIn, the YouTube page, the Facebook group, also to the website. But like I said, I think season 3, we're going to start doing just more streaming to the YouTube channel, because I want to get everybody into a group community where they can chat with each other while the show's going on, see other people's chats and everything like that. So, I always encourage you, hop on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification, give a thumbs up, definitely comment on the videos because it helps the channel. And like I said, there you'll be able to see all the great content that I put up. Plus, check out all the other past great guests that I've had on the show. So hop on over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Don Terrell. And like I said, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and more importantly, share it. If you know of other creators and animators and people that just you think would love this content, share out the videos and all the content on there, because that's what helps the channels grow, for sure. I definitely want to give a shout out to this sponsor for today's show, DG Graphics. They do all the graphics, all the overlays. Like I said, make the show look good. So dggraphics.com sponsoring today's episode. If you are a business or brand that's looking to level up your brand design, or start a live stream show, like I said, they could definitely help you make you look good for sure. So reach on out, check out dggraphics.com. With that, like I said, I think we pretty much got everything out of the way, and we can dive into this episode. I'm so looking forward to this episode. Talking to my next friend and guest, super talented character and creature animator, which you're going to check out some of his work in a little bit there. Coming to us from Mumbai, India. So it is late over there for sure. So we definitely appreciate him being a part of the show and a part of the family. But we're ready to get it kicked off and ready to go. My next guest and friend is very passionate about animation. He loves creating new ideas, researching animation styles, researching creature animation, which is very hard to do, to make a creature, animal, move very realistically. And it takes a lot of work. It takes really dissecting reference video of how animals actually move. Currently, he's looking for a job as a VFX creature character animator now. He has experience in VFX and CG, cinematic, and cartoony styles. Everybody, please help me welcome my very special guest and friend, Ramzan Mulani. Ramzan! Oh man, Ramzan, I appreciate you so much for being on the show and part of the Color of Motion family.
Thank you, Don, inviting me on this show. Thank you very much. Hello, guys.
Eh, such like I said, we're gonna dive into some of his work and his demo reel in a little bit, but let's dive into like some of the questions now. What was it initially when you were younger that sparked your interest in animation and comics and cartoons, just in CG? What was it that really is like did it for you?
Yeah. Uh, so first of all, I'm not from any artistic background. Actually, I'm from a Bachelor of Commerce background. So there is no anything that comes near like artistic or something like that. So what happened is like first I was like I was doing a job as a graphic designer actually. So that was different from animation, and some lady was sitting besides me at that time, and she was doing something in Maya. She was
Mm.
doing something Play Plus. So I asked her like, "What are you doing? What is this? And what this is looking like a cartoon stuff, something like that." So she said she's play blasting and looking if all comes right or not. So I said, "Okay, man, this is looking interesting." Ah, then I asked her, "Yeah." Then I asked her like, "Where you learned this stuff?" So she said like there was a mentor who was like teaching her the animation. So I took address from her, and I just called the mentor who was like a senior animator at Prana actually. I want to take his name actually because of him. I'm now as an animator. So his name is Tanaji Farid. So he was really talented animator. So I went to him, and he said, "Okay, that much is a fees, and I will teach you all the animation." And I took like 6 months classes from him while doing it my job. And after that, I got my first job in animation at Graffiti Multimedia. So that was the studio of Mr. Ramon sir, who is father of who was father of like he's no more now, but who is father of Indian animation. Wow, I
Mm.
was so lucky to yeah. So that
That,
was first time like I am introduced to animation. There were more people to help me out, and yep.
that's amazing. I
Uh,
mean, considering, like you said, you didn't have any background skill or training in animation to really, like I said, take the learning and then not long after get a job or some work in the industry. There's a lot of people that go to school for years and it takes them a while to get into the industry once they graduate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like my animation was so bad at that time. Actually, it was not good enough to, like, you can I can proud myself like my animation is so good and so like that. But what has sparked me out, like, I was watching, like, on the internet Vimeo at the time in 2012, at my first job, that otherwise Avati is, like,
Yeah.
he's a big animator and my inspiration as well. So I was watching his like layouts. He done like comedy stuff, comedy animations, and as well as his reel. Wow. So I thought, like, these guys are making so much, like, oh, wow, animations. There is you can't say anything. Man. So I thought, man, why I can't do that stuff, like,
Yeah.
I have to try.
Yeah.
So after that I switched to another company. There I was working as a cinematic animator on Final Fantasy Kingslave Final Fantasy. That was a movie by Square Enix. So there I learned something about anatomy, human anatomy, and how it works, like more about the anatomy stuff and
Yeah.
acting stuff, facial stuff. So that sparked me towards, like, learn about all the things,
Yeah.
acting, anatomy, and
Yeah.
how body acts, behavior of a human, all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the time, did you, when you saw the lady doing that, did you think there was a big industry, or did you know, like, whether the animation industry was kind of growing over there, and you know, work was going to be
That
kind of
time, that time actually, I didn't knew about the industry actually. But I don't have I'm not having any job, and I was just graduated from a bachelor of commerce, and I was searching for a job. So I thought to do any course or something like that, but because of, like, like, dad was saying, like, you have to do job first, so yeah. So because your education is over now, so just do the job. So I was like, okay. So
I take
so
it. I take it your parents weren't really enthused initially about you getting into this space.
yeah, now they're proud of me actually.
But initially, before, they were kind of wary about, because, like I said, that's a. And I've talked to a few people that have come from kind of a totally different industry and then pivoted into animation. I talked to one, he was into biochemistry and did that.
Oh.
And, there's a few that have just switched up from what they initially went to school for. For you, were your, like I said, were your parents kind of, okay, you need to get a job. We want you to get something secure, something that's, gonna bring in money and that type of thing.
Yeah, obviously. Like, in like, basically in India, like, everybody, like, parents, like, generally they say, like, hey, you are now, education is over, now you have to bring money to home now, just, go to job, like that. But I convinced my parents that time, and to, like, do that course from my mentor,
Yeah,
and they agreed that time. So
yeah,
I did my course at my like
yeah,
my
yeah,
mentor.
yeah. Well, I'm curious. Did you ask your mentor, like, how it was for him kind of getting into the industry, being from India? And I'm pretty sure it's not as big over here or over there as it is over here. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the work that you were get that studios are doing kind of probably now are working for studios or doing animation work for studios that are over here. So did he kind of tell you that his trials and tribulations of kind of getting into the space before he got to that level?
So So first question of my first question to him was that, like, sir, is there any job, like, after doing this course, if I can get job or that, something like that.
Yeah, you
So
want to know. I said, I'm paying some money, so I want to know. Because my parents are going to be on me.
so he said, like, he was like honest about that. He
Yeah,
said to me, like, if your work is good, then you definitely get the job. This industry is about, skilled workers.
yeah,
If you are skilled enough to get the job done, then you are welcome.
yeah,
It's like that.
yeah,
So he was honest about it, and yep, he said about like all the obstacles he found in his way when it comes to industry. And I was always asking, like, how it is to be in the studio, how you work, how is your workflow,
yeah,
and what things you have to avoid, what things you have to, like,
yeah.
follow in your
The first the lady that introduced you to animation when you were watching her Maya, that was your first kind of foray, your first teacher. What was the biggest lesson that you took away from him, that moved you into the other ones?
So from the first mentor, like, I got the lesson, like, your shots should be believable, and it should be like entertaining the audience. The acting should be entertaining. So that lesson I got from my mentor. And from creator mentors, like, I got the lesson, like, you have to focus on the movements, on the posing, like, uh, posing a lot, like give attention in all the views of Maya viewport
Yeah,
to get your balance right, weight shift right. Okay, and if you are not getting, like, your foot is traveling, but your foot is traveling, but you don't have any references for that or something like that. Uh, Take out other animals references, like, similar
yeah,
animal references, thing like that. I also do that actually,
yeah,
because yeah, it's not like, if you're finding the same reference, you will not, like, get same references. Yeah, in fact, in one show, like, I was animating rhino, and it was like three times bigger than the normal rhino.
oh
So
wow,
I thought, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, to give the weight and all that, you have to, do a lot of stuff. Yeah, I have animated the normal rhino, and shift the keys and all to gain the weight and all that stuff. So there are a
gotcha.
lot of things to do these things.
Yeah, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I'm also curious, what were the types of animations that you saw coming out of, or and that you watched coming out of India, or as you were growing up, did you kind of focus on like the American style over here, what Disney was doing with some of the Sony and some of the other ones? Um, Tell me a little bit about the animation that's coming out of India.
Yep. So now if you see here, Indian animation industry is really grown up. Like, you can see a lot of creature animations, visual effect industry is growing up. They are doing same stuff, like, what other guys are doing. Like, if you can't differentiate really much between the other
Yeah,
foreign movies and like Indian movies nowadays, because they are really going too far now in India also, like in VFX stuff. Talking about the character animation, it's real. It needed a push actually, because still Indian industry is not producing some, like,
yeah,
Disney type movies or something like that. Still, they are not producing it. They need a push, and they need strong storyline, and you know
yeah,
studios to like create such movies like DreamWorks does or
yeah,
Disney
yeah.
does.
Well, are you starting to see companies like DreamWorks and Disney come over to India or outsource a lot of their work or work over to India, like they're doing, like they're starting to do in Africa? They're starting to partner with a lot of African animation studios to bring different stories to life.
Yeah, I mean, they're already doing it actually. So if I was talking about the Prana Animation Studio,
Yeah,
Disney was outsourcing all the things. The shows were like animated in Prana. These were like Disney episodes and movies and all that stuff. So like that. DreamWorks also was there in Bangalore. So there are there are branches in India. It's
yeah.
not like that, but I'm talking about the Indian content. If you're talking about like their own content, Indian
Yeah, their
content.
own content. Are you starting to see a lot of Indian content creators start to produce their own, stories, characters, more and more?
uh, Nowadays, like if you're talking about CG thing, there are less content creators. But if you're talking about the movies, like
Yeah,
VFX movies, there are a lot.
yeah,
There are a
yeah.
lot going on in VFX industry.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of like I said, because I've come across a lot of studio and connected with a lot of motion designers, like I said, VFX artists over in India that are doing it in studios over in India. I was curious just about uh, their own, the own stories. Like I said, you're starting to see that over in the African content where studios over there are starting to make, you know, African sci-fi, just stories
Yeah.
based on African folklore and that type of thing. Are you starting? I was wondering, is that kind of an interest in some studios to start to animate Indian folklore and that type of the stories over there?
Yeah, they are creating such type of stories and all that, but they are creating it in a VFX mode, like VFX
VFX,
movies, like live
gotcha.
action movies. Yeah,
Live action.
but yeah, not in CG.
Wow.
It's they are behind little bit in it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I hope in like future the market will be like up for that also.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also when you initially got to your first mentor, were there a lot of, and are there now a lot of schools and universities and training that provide that type of CG animation type of learning, or are you having to um, do it online, go abroad to different places? Is India does Indian schools have the type of curriculum for learning CG, visual effects, and that type of thing?
So, talking about like learning character animation and the type of animation we done in movies and something like that, we still don't have like that type of education system
Yeah,
here. Like that level of education system,
yeah,
we have to like do courses from like a foreign things like Animation Mentor or
yeah,
Anim School, something like that, and many more. Like my friends also like. Open their websites and classes also.
yeah,
So like people are more dependent on those actually,
yeah,
rather than like going to because the level you are like achieving, you want to achieve is like that level. So
yeah.
for that thing they are approaching the foreign classes, foreign
Yeah.
institutes.
And obviously, it's going to take more awareness and more like success to really show, the government that that's something that needs to be invested in, because I
Yeah,
think I kind of think Africa's kind of going through the same thing as far as they either have to go abroad to say like France, or there's very few, not like there is over here in the States. You can go to a lot of different schools and learn CG. I mean, animation is really big. So doing the same thing as far as having to go to France or England or the UK or something like that, there may be a few scattered here and there, or doing it online.
yep. Actually, the thing happened to me like when I was moved to Australia, like for
Oh, sorry. I meant to hit I meant to hit
yeah,
solo. Sorry about that.
yeah,
Live.
it's okay. So I moved to Australia for as an animator on two movies. Actually, I really got opportunity. That was a really nice opportunity for me to work on those movies, and I learned a lot of stuff actually. There, I was the one person sitting besides of me was like really talented and experienced person. I was asking him everything like about how to do like this and that. First thing, I was like I was having difficulty like how to talk actually. When you are going outside, that I want to like express myself actually. So when you go outside, the first thing, the obstacle is like how to talk, because in home, like I can talk to everybody, right? But yeah. But outside, the language issues were there. So language issues were there. At that time, my English was so bad.
I hear you. And like I said, for everybody just joining in, we're sitting down having a fun, great conversation with my friend Ramzan Mulani. We're getting ready to take a look at his demo reel and see some of his work. But before we do that, I have to ask this question. Initially, because like I said, it always amazes me. Like I said, the work that some people do and they don't have like formal training, and and I know it takes a while, to develop your skill and stuff. But did you have that, you know, going into it, especially without any type of formal education in animation and CG and all of that? Did you have any type of like imposter syndrome or doubt when you got into actually producing work for a project in the studio?
I mean, like, can you repeat that sentence?
Well, did you feel any kind of doubt or deal with imposter syndrome, feeling like, can I do this work for a project, an actual
Uh,
project that's going out? Especially since you didn't have training or formal schooling initially, doing it. I mean, how was it for you getting through that doubt
yeah.
that you could actually do the work?
So, yep. Uh, on my first job, actually, when I was like starting my first day on the and as an animator, there were a lot of doubts. A scene was given to me, and there were a lot of doubts how to do that, and how to. So a lot of doubts, but there are seniors to like make you comfortable with the shots and helps you with whatever difficulty you are facing. They always like ready to help you. So it's about like when you are starting to do the job, but after 1 or 2 years, all doubts are gone. You are ready to animate.
That's pretty good because there are some people that still have, like I said, those doubt, little trepidational doubts and things like that when
Yeah.
they go
The,
into a project.
the, the one thing I want to mention about like Lauren Benham. So when I saw his work, like I was amazed, like those realistic motions, those gorilla walking and all that. So I thought to do the course about the gorilla. So yeah, he really helped me out, like about the gorilla anatomy, how it walks, how
Yeah,
like how to deal with like technical difficulties, and how he walks on his fingers,
yeah,
why like how weight he gives, and how weight is shifting,
yeah,
how balances work in gorilla and all of that. It's really amazing course I done from him. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because there's a animator over here that I love watching, and you may have seen his work. He used to work for Disney, and did
Oh,
worked on such animations as Brother Bear and all of that. But he's really famous for Aaron Blaze. He's really famous for animal animations, and he was just really driving home the point of, even if it's a cartoony style animation, you need to know the real anatomy. You need to know the
Yeah.
real movement before you can even push it to this, cartoony style. And it's the
Yep. Yep.
importance of really watching how creatures and animals move in their environment makes it so much more believable. So I totally agree with you, and I definitely want to get the name. Remind me at the end to get the name of your mentor because I would love to reference him in the show notes, so people can, if he has a portfolio or website where you can check out his work. But I would love to put him in the show notes, which I'm sure he does. If he does.
I will share you with at the end of the
Yeah, at the
show.
end
I
of the
will.
broadcast, just so I can get the information to put it, make sure it's in the show notes as well. We're getting ready to take a
Cool.
look at some of Ramzan's work in his demo reel. Like I said, you're going to be amazed at some of the stuff. And one of them, like I said, and I'm going to ask you about it afterwards. Kind of what you did on that project. But I really loved Finch. I love that I love the movie. So if for anybody that hasn't seen Finch, it was I think on Netflix. Um, yeah, it might have been on Netflix, but it was with Tom Hanks. It's a super amazing thing. Uh, so we're going to talk a little bit about that afterwards. But let's take a quick look um, at some of Ramzan's work.
That's right.
I'm not sure I understand what the story was about, Finch.
Well, think about it.
I am.
It's about building trust and getting other people to trust you.
I'm the sworn guardian of the troll hunter. Yeah, yeah. So there Jim was, sword to my throat. Then Barbara comes out of the kitchen with a pie. You want to work together?
Such amazing work. Like I said, and I don't think people get, like I said, how hard it is to get the weight, to get the balance, to get the movements of characters and creatures. You've done it so well. How, I mean, typically, like say for that gorilla, how long would you say it took you to really get the movement, right?
Yeah. It's basically like we go step by step. So first we focus on like how he's traveling, where he's traveling.
Yeah,
So we get the movement right, we get the arc right, like where he's traveling, the basic actually basic cog where he's traveling. After that actually we work on the other processes, like we work on blocking, we get the we get the major portions right, like chest, hip, the legs and the hands.
yeah,
After that we move into the anim, like we work on the small sections like head, fingers, like not lot of in fingers, but like how he is like lifting his
Yeah.
like hands, lifting his legs, planting his legs like that. And again, and in past, like moving detailing, like the fingers, if he is lifting, and what is happening in fingers, like they are like doing this, or they are like
Yeah.
not spreading, they are like going inside. So those like little notes you have to like pay attention to, take out like different references for it, like when planting a leg, would it spread like that, or would you spread like that, or like that. So those little notes you have to like spend time in. But this course is about like I think 15 weeks. So we completed it in 15 weeks. I was having my job at Agora Studio while doing this course with Laurent Benham.
Hmm.
Fantastic mentor, very great mentor. And he
Okay.
was really focused on the poses and the fundamentals of animation. Wow.
Gotcha.
So yep,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Well, and I'm curious.
yeah.
'Cause
I really like enjoyed.
I'm a like I said, and I'd like to know what kind of you did on Finch, because like I said, I love the movie with Tom Hanks and the robot. Like I said, for anybody that just hasn't seen it yet, I would suggest you try, uh, you know, finding it. I'm not sure if it's still on. I think it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on, but I'm pretty sure you're able to find it. It was such an amazing story, but then how the robot was brought to life was so, like I said, that's what made it so much more an impactful story. Um, for you, what was the experience like doing working on a project, working on CG project like that?
It was amazing experience, like working on the those shots which are assigned to me. Basically, the supervisor, like Simon Allen, was so friendly actually. And this movie is like the actor who was acting as a Finch actually,
Mm,
acting as a robot
yeah,
actually, was really into that character, really into that character. So we don't have to push ourselves so much like to get the
yeah,
like behavior or the attitude of that robot or something like
yeah,
it was really amazing job done by that actor who was like doing the
yeah.
acting for
Well, it
the Finch.
definitely translated through because, like I said, that was really what sold the movie was just the believability of the character, the naivety of the
Yeah.
robot, just the whole thing, and and I'll even refer back to the shot, on your demo reel where he was just sitting in the driver's seat thinking the little small movements of what you're doing with your hands and your feet is what really people take for granted that a animator has to pick up on that just makes the character so much more believable.
So, yeah. It's like that actor who was doing acting for this shot as well. He was doing like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
this.
yeah.
He was doing,
It
yeah,
so helps, I
and
tell you.
it was, yeah,
It so helps.
yeah. Yeah.
Again, everybody just tuning in. We've been having an amazing conversation, like I said, with my friend Ramzan Mulani, character, creature, animator. And like I said, you just saw some of his work. A few more questions, Ramzan. Um, what would what advice would you give to somebody now just in this that is in the same position that you were in initially when you saw that person? What advice would you tell them, getting into what you do?
Okay. So like a lot of people asking me like how you do like creature animation, like how do you do like creature stuff like that. There are different workflows actually. So the workflow I follow is like focus on posing. focus on posing as much as you can and look at your posing from every angle so that you can't be wrong. You get there has to be like, and go step by step. Don't go like, you are doing like planted foot and there you spread the fingers, and then again you are like lifting foot and there you are working again on small things. No, I follow like, working on major things first and minor things later. So that is my workflow for character animation as well, like the blocking first and then like animation. So I follow that workflow and it helps a lot for me to like deliver in very like limited amount of time also, like, not
Yeah.
taking longer time. It just, I finish it early, and it helps me to like keep my workflow little like,
Yeah.
in you can say, hey man, this is the blocking, this is the spline, this is the animation, like that,
Yeah.
category
Yeah.
wise.
Awesome.
So
Um,
it helps a lot.
yeah. Yeah. And like I said, one, it's been such an amazing experience. Like I said, one, meeting you, Ramzan, and then two, having you on the show. Because, like I said, you do such amazing work, and it's been an honor and a pleasure, really connecting with you and getting to know you and build a friendship with you. Um, one final question: what would you tell your younger self about whether or not to just go straight into what you enjoy doing, or take the safe route of what you took as far as economics and just going after your dream? I mean, because I don't know if economics was necessarily your first choice of what you wanted to do, but what would you tell your younger
So
self?
I would like to like tell my younger self if it is possible at that time to just switch into like filmmaking, like, just switch into filmmaking already, like don't like do like any graduation or like anything, like, just, focus.
Follow your dream, follow your passion in your dream. But it does help to have a
Just
fallback.
dive into animation.
No, that I think I think says a lot. I think following, because there are a lot of people, like I said, that go to school, they get the degree, and then they realize this isn't really what I wanted to do, and they spent 10 years getting a degree that, one, they didn't want, and two, is not really serving them. So, I'm a big proponent, like you said, of following your passion. What is it that you really want to do and enjoy doing? So, definitely something that I think you should take heed of, for sure. And of course, like I always love to do, I always love to drop a bomb on that bomb drop of knowledge, that Ramzan drop. Make sure you pay attention to that. Um, but again, Ramzan, it was such fun having you on the show. I definitely, like I said, uh, appreciate you so much for being a part of the Color Emotion family. Look forward to definitely having you back on the show because, like I said, I can only imagine uh, the even continued work that's going to come from you because, like I said, you do some amazing work. So I just can't wait to see what else comes out from you, and deepen our friendship for sure. So thank you so much for coming on, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, and everything that you do.
Thank you, Don, for giving me opportunity on this show, inviting me on your show. This show is really amazing. Like, you can express yourself and like, tell more stories. Yeah.
Well, like I
I
said,
mean, it's been like
like I said, I can't wait to
Yeah, I mean,
have you back on.
oh, wow, thank you.
No, I seriously can't wait to have you back on. Um, if you could hang out for just a second in the green room while I close out the show, so I could talk to you a little bit more after the show, I would appreciate it.
Cool.
Um, everybody, like I said, uh, before, make sure that you get connected with Ramzan uh, and all his channels. You can find him. Uh, you know, you can find him uh, on YouTube, Showreel. Check out Vimeo. You can check out more of his Showreel. Connect with him on LinkedIn. That's where I connected with him at as well. Like I said, you see more of his work. Does some amazing stuff. So make sure that you connect with him. All this information is going to be on the show notes on the YouTube channel. So make sure that you check out the YouTube channel, check out the show notes. You'll be able to get all this information, all the reference stuff that we talked about for sure. So just definitely can't wait again to have him back on the show. But again, Ramzan, thank you for being a part of the show. Everybody, please help me thank again my very special guest and friend, which you definitely will see again, Mr. Ramzan Mulani. Thank you, Ramzan, for being a part of the show.
Thank you, man.
Hang out for just 1 second, while I close out the show. Again, everybody that's hung out with me today, it's been another amazing experience. Like I said, this is episode 96. We are 4 episodes away from hitting the big 100 episodes. So this has been rolling along so well and so fun. And I can't thank my friends and guests enough for coming on, making it such a great experience. I can't thank you, the viewers, enough for always tuning in, engaging, being a part of the show. Like I said, that's what helps make this show so much special. And again, a big shout out to Ramzan, because like I said, he's over in Mumbai, India, and it's a huge time gap. So it is like almost 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock there. So I have to thank him again for hanging with us, being a part of the show, and just, like I said, hanging out with us. It was so fun. You, the viewers, I can't thank you enough for, again, sharing a little bit of your Saturday afternoon with me, and just, hanging out with us while we have this conversation. With that, like I said, I'm going to close out this episode. Again, hey, make sure that you tune in next week, because it's going to be even more fire. I cannot wait for my next week's guest, Mr. Luis Gonzalez, director with Pixar Animation Studios. He did an amazing short, so I am so looking forward to having him on the show and sharing what he's doing. So you don't want to miss it for sure. With that, this is going to be pretty much a wrap for the show. Make sure that you tune in. Same bat time, same bat channel next week, and I will see you there. Cheers, everybody.